Thus far in the Chicago World's Fair, there has been many interesting exhibits, country buildings, and architecture advancements. Some say that walking around the fair is similar to taking a small tour around the world. Now I will talk to 3 fairgoers about their favorite exhibits, the public's reaction to that building, and how the building may affect the future.
My favorite building I have visited is the French Pavilion. It features a beautiful architecture and a stunning statue called La France. Close to the La France was another statue of the French national bird, the Gallic cock. Its most popular attraction was the Bertillon method, which is used to measure a criminal for identification purposes. Another attraction in the French Pavilion was the dolls. The little girls fell in love with this exhibit. Along with the building itself, it looks very small in photos. However, it is actually very large in real life. It displayed a multitude of china and tapestries, some of which are valued at $100,000. Entering France's magnificent doorways with their elaborately adorned facades, we are lost in a maze of beauty and elegance, according to one fairgoer. On July 14th, there would be a garden party and promenade party, which would be beautifully covered in French and American colors and flowers. Some vases that are being featured are so symbolic that they're called Statue of the Vine. The display is a woman holding a vine in it. She is 13 feet high and 7 feet in diameter. If you are looking for the Statue of the Vine, it is located just south of the Goblin Tapestry display.
My personal favorite building that I visited was a Japanese wooded island, also known as the Japan Huiden. It was a very serene place to go to get away from all the hustle and bustle of the fair. The island features a beautiful replica of a Japanese temple, the Huiden, that originally is located in Kyoto, Japan, hence the nickname the Huiden. This word means house that looks like a phoenix or a bird. The architecture there was filled with gentle sloping arches, multi-roof buildings, and beautiful detail work on all the walls. The Japanese wooded island also has many beautiful bridges, unique gardens, and many water features. Inside the 3 main structures on the island, you can see artifacts and treasures from 3 different periods of Japanese history. These included scrolls, vases, decorative screens, writing material, and musical instruments. Another popular feature on the island was the lanterns, both paper and stone.
While touring the fair, the attraction that seemed most interesting to me was Cairo Street. Over 2 million people flocked to the Midway to see Cairo Street and its many different features, such as the beautiful architecture. Next to Cairo Street is a portion of the recreated Luxor Temple. Inside, hieroglyphics and educational exhibits that included royal mummies and wax replicas could be found. While on Cairo Street, people would ride camels or donkeys, buy Egyptian toys or trinkets, and there are so many exotic dancers all around the street. Cairo Street is the liveliest place at the fair. While walking the street and start feeling hungry, you can stop at Alexandria Cafe, an all Egyptian style restaurant. There you can enjoy a delicious native meal.
There was many varied reactions to these buildings, seeing as a majority of people in the United States have never experienced these unique cultures from across the world. These 3 have watched how their fellow Americans reacted to the fair and will report to us how their favorite country buildings influenced and affected Americans.
The French have heavily influenced the wealthy Americans greatly throughout the history, even up to now. In 1893, we can still see this influence. Starting in the early 1800s, people wanted to dress like the French, eat like the French, and speak like the French, and in general, just wanted to be the French. Their exhibit at the World's Fair has further solidified this behavior. Many that have viewed the French Pavilion have been very impressed by the beauty of it and the talent that has been portrayed in the art from France.
As I wandered around the wooded island, I overheard many conversations about the beautiful and interesting culture that the Japanese people have. A lot of the people that visited the fair have never experienced anything other than the American culture, or if they have experienced another culture, it was European. Many people that attended the fair seemed to be shocked at the beauty of the Japanese architecture and how advanced their society really was. The Japanese also brought with them their agriculture. They displayed rice, azuki, yungama, gonpi, and other agricultural products that many people that attended the fair had not yet been exposed to. This caused some surprise amongst the people I saw viewing the exhibits. They were intrigued by their food and how different it was from what they typically ate.
While strolling around the Midway, I saw a variety of faces with many different facial expressions. Surprised, excited, and nervous were just a few. The Midway is known as a cultural hothouse because of all the different cultures showing off their exotic traditions. The exhibit booths on the Midway showed the many people who walked through their different music and dancing styles. People did not want to just read about other lifestyles and exotic places, but they would rather like to experience them with their own senses.
Many people think that the Columbian Exposition will cause a shift into the modern era. They think that it may change our culture, our technology, and even our way of life. These three fairgoers each think that their prospective favorite building or exhibit will change the world one day. Now let's see how they think that the country buildings will affect not only our nation's future, but also the future of the world.
By having the influence of French culture, we could possibly see in the future a complete change in the way we view architecture. The French have shaped the way we think in a multitude of ways, thereby making it possible for us Americans to view architecture as something magnificent. This may shape the way architecture is done and how it looks in the modern era.
I believe that having an Asian influence, such as the Japanese wooded island at our fair, may catapult our culture into the modern ages in the future. Few people have had exposure to the wide variety of cultures across the world and how their ways of life may be beneficial to our way of life. Maybe the Japanese wooded island will cause less people to be racist in the future, agricultural advancements, and improved relations with Japanese or Asian countries.
Having so many different cultures on the Midway, the American people can see how they could potentially be unique from other countries across the world, not just picking one and using it for hundreds of years. In America, you can find many different cultures already living together in daily life. Maybe in the future, we can make living and working with people of different cultures the social norm.
As you can see, this fair has had and will continue to have an effect on the American people. The many countries present at the fair and their exhibits, more specifically the French Pavilion, the Japanese wooded island, and Cairo Street, were very influential. There were varied reactions to these as well that will impact us for years to come.